welcome again to the Hiker's Dream show. And we're here with Gary. And maybe, Gary, you could tell us your trail name and maybe how you got it, first of all, to get to know you.
Certainly. My name's Gary Morrison. My trail name is Mango. I got my trail name about a week into my Appalachian Trail through hike. I came up on some trail angels, which was very rare in 2020, but it was really early. It was still March, and I hadn't had a trail name, and they were really sweet. It was two families, and they filled me up on soup and tea and fruit. And as I was leaving, they were trying to push off more stuff on me. I'm like, no, I'm all right. I'm all right. And they're like, we have mango. And I got overly excited, probably cursed a few times, said, that's freaking great. And the guy goes, that's what your name should be, Mango Gary. And I actually walked away from them kind of on a high because it was a really nice meeting with like trail people. And I left my poles. So I ran back to get my poles. I got about a quarter mile away, and I go, I'm keeping the name, but dropping Gary. And that's how I got it. And I'm still friends with the people on Facebook.
Excellent. Yeah, these are lifelong friends we meet on trail.
The people that I've met, that is what I think is the greatest part of the trail, are the people I've met. I was really lucky too. My trail family was just everything to me while I was on the trail.
Why do you think that is? Why do you think there's such a deep connection with these people that we meet, out of nowhere, hardly ever know them, and then we have this lasting connection with them? Why do you think that is?
For me, I think I put it back to like being in junior high or even elementary school and going away to camp, and you're stuck with people you don't know every night, sleeping with them. And we were all, my family was all shelter rats, more or less. We were in every shelter, and there weren't many people. So it was easy, the same 5, 8, 10, whatever it was. And you're with them every night, and, you could bond. You saw them in their darkest moments, most pain, starving, thirsty, tired, irritable. And we all got together, and there was never fights, there was never argument. You just bonded. The struggle, the closeness, it was pretty much all those things.
Yeah.
Like when you're away, I guess I was writing that when you're away at camp, the same thing happens. You develop relationships that, you say you're going to call and write, but you don't have the momentum or whatever. But I'm still in touch with almost everyone that my true family, my true trail family, I am still in touch with.
When did you do the AT? What year was that?
2020, the year of COVID.
Oh, recently. Okay.
Yes.
Have you done anything since then?
I haven't. I've been going up, and I actually had my knee replaced in August. So I was bone on bone. I actually had to come off trail, get a cortisone shot when I was in Maine. I came home, got a cortisone shot, went back up, was off the trail for about 2.5 weeks, and then finished the trail after my cortisone shot. And then got a knee replacement within 5 months of getting off trail. Or something like that.
Okay. Bionic Mango. Okay. You add bionic to that. Okay. Yeah, it's like, to me, it reminds me of the military, when you have these bonds with the people that you're just basically surviving, with eat, sleep, and walk, and just basically surviving the weather and all the hardships and the challenges you get. There's a bond there. I see that from my PCT trip in 2014. I just share, I got my name Landslide from, it's about 250 miles into the trip, and I kept falling. And this one guy had seen me fall, and then one time I slipped on some rocks and caused a minor landslide, and that's how I got my name.
That's all. But I got to name one guy on trail. He was carrying blue jeans with him on the first oh God, up to Franklin. So about 115 miles in, 107 miles in, he was carrying blue jeans with him for some reason. He was a Marine, not I guess a former ex-Marine or former Marine, but he was a Marine, and that he got his name, and he's actually doing the PCT, but he's actually starting today
Oh,
southbound. I decided to hold off a month because of the snow, and I'm just not as he's 32 and I'm 52, so I decided to take an extra some time. I'm going to be heading out 7-Eleven
wow, you're
to go.
gonna do this southbound, okay. Wow.
Yeah.
What's it look like, the snow levels in Washington?
Right now there's 4 feet at Hart's Pass.
Okay.
So, but it's losing, I think it's now losing like 4 or 5 inches a day. I don't know. I keep getting different, no one's giving, from what I'm looking at, I should be pretty clear by the time I leave on the 14th or 15th.
And what made you go southbound?
Availability. I couldn't get
Oh,
on the northbound list when they
oh,
did the sign up. Like by the time my number came up, I was like, all right, well, I guess I'll do southbound.
well,
Yeah,
that's
that was the and
what,
at the time I was planning to do it with one of my Tramley guys, this guy Blue Jeans, but yeah, we were both like talking on the phone while we were picking, and that all went to shit, because of the snow. And there's just too much snow up there right now. The first group just got through, but I have no snow hiking experience, just hiking experience. So I wasn't going to take that chance.
now, is there a sign up for southbounders too? Or is it just
Yeah,
like,
Southbounders, you can get it's 50 people a day. Oh no, 15 people a day. And for northbounders, you were allowed to sign up for 50 people a day. So there's that many more, and I think there's more time too. I think there's only 45 days, and southbounders are supposed to take off, and there's 60 days, and I could be wrong in this, on northbounders. So there's not so many more northbounders.
any idea how many are going southbound this year?
No, not that. Now, no one's been starting. So the first so far, what is today? The 22nd,
Third, 23rd.
23rd. So we're 8 days in, and only about 6 people have even tried to
Oh,
start that I know of.
yeah, yeah.
So there's definitely it's going to be a lighter crowd, or there's going to be a bigger bubble of people all coming in at the same time after the snow break melts.
Are you gonna be blogging or somehow?
I'll be on Instagram and Facebook, and my Facebook I left open, and I haven't really posted. I tried to repost my thing on Facebook or on Instagram, but I'll be on Instagram and Facebook.
Yeah, I find my hike was so challenging. I don't see how people could vlog at the same time, take video and then do the editing and everything. It's just so challenging, just
No,
the hiking itself.
I'm
What
not
I,
that advanced in that.
no, but what I did was at trail towns, I used to go to the libraries and use their internet and then do trail reports. I did about 15 of those in the small towns that we stopped in and send word back home to family and friends. And that was fun.
Yeah,
So, what made? Are you going for the Triple Crown, or what's your idea here?
I am. I am. Hopefully next year, if all goes well this year, and I get the PCT down, and as long as my cancer doesn't come back, I expect to be on the CDT next year.
Excellent. Okay, you're a trooper. Okay.
Yeah, yeah. So I just decided, I wanted, I don't know, I wanted to do something. I don't know how many years I have left, so I'm gonna get out there and do it.
I would be out there too if I wasn't here trying to save the world. But right now we got stuff to do with the environment and the planet. But
Yeah.
so I'm living vicariously through you guys. Um, so what made you hike? I mean, why are you out there anyway? What's the
I
deal?
I started hiking. We got a dog about 7 years ago, and we had a Great Dane. And we started just going out on hikes. And I live close to the AT, So one of the trails we were crossed the AT, and then my girlfriend, who I have the dog with, got on the AT with a friend and did an overnight, and she became really like enthralled with it. Just, so she started doing hikes. I started jumping in with her, and we did. She did like most of the state of Pennsylvania we have a Great Dane that did it, and I sent pictures, you'll see. And he's done everything from the Shenandoahs to Vermont, except for he couldn't do Lehigh Gap because it was too rocky. But so we started doing that, and actually we were watching a television show called Dirty Southbounders about hikers, and I had been diagnosed with stage 4B cancer, and I just gotten on disability. I can't, the side effects for my drugs, I can't think, I can't have critical conversations, I can't do complex things. The drugs really screwed me up. But she's like, you could do that, you could hike that. And it was a Tuesday night, and we were watching it on Amazon Prime. It was 6 episodes. It's about these kids that did it southbound, and that sat with me. It was 8 o'clock at night. She said that, and the next day at 12 noon, I was driving, and it didn't leave. And I called her up. I'm like, I'm gonna fucking do it. And she's going, you're gonna do what? I go, I'm gonna hike the Appalachian Trail. And 3 weeks later, we were driving down to Georgia. And she started the first. Her and my dog Archer started the first 50 miles with me. So that's how I got into through hiking.
Are you hooked? Are you hooked?
And then I was hooked. Yeah.
Yeah.
There's no, I mean, I went out, last year this year I haven't been able to, but last year I did some Trail Angel stuff. I went to Trail Days last year. This year's been more focused on just trying to get things done, to be prepared to be away for 6 months. But yeah, I did a lot. I also did a lot of trail. Like we did some trail. I know you don't talk about. We did some trail cleaning too. Like every time I go in the trail near us, we have like 3 or 4 spots we go to. We can reach within 20 to 30 minutes, and I always try to just keep the trail clean. Leave it better than when I found it.
We've had a lot of blowdowns here in parts of the PCT this year. People had to go through. Are you in Pennsylvania? Did you say?
Yeah, I'm in PA. I'm in Central PA.
Okay. Yeah, I like to get into more like the introspective stuff. So what have you become aware of since you started hiking? Awareness wise, like people talk about their gear and all that stuff. We've heard that, but I like to see what internally has happened here with people. It's kind of interesting.
I've actually implemented more meditation while I'm hiking too. All around betterness. I've become more. For me, it's the being present of where you are, and even when I'm out there, sometimes I miss it. But that's the biggest thing. I've become more present. It's a weird thing. I don't shower as much. I just don't feel like I need to, being out on the trail, which is a weird thing. But mostly being present, being, aware of my surroundings, from what's touching my own body to what's around me in the sounds, is what's really brought on. And just slowing down of life. Slowing it down.
And then how has that changed you? Has it changed you at all by becoming more aware of these things?
Yeah, I'd say I'm an easier person. I'm not as uptight. I'm not as high wired or tightly wired. And I'm more aware of, well, like not as much you are probably as much of a warrior, but I definitely like to consider, what's going around in the environment as well. I've become aware of all of that, more aware, let's say.
Well, yeah, being on trail I did my hike in 2014, but for 5 months being out there and then re-entry back into civilization, there's a huge difference there. And I see the contrast, and that's what got me, the contrast, the comparison. It just, wow, what's going on during the hike and what's going on in civilization didn't make much sense anymore. So now when I came back, the reentry part, I'm curious to see how your reentry was. But when I came back, I let go of my apartment. I actually was homeless for a while because I didn't think I needed to pay the rent. I could just sleep outdoors now because I'm so used to it. And I was fine doing that.
I kind of got that. I was planning, it's funny you say it. I was planning a car camping trip before I ended up deciding I can't do that and got a knee replacement. But yeah, I minimized my life. I only have so many t-shirts, so many shorts. I don't have a wardrobe that I had before. I have, like, I got rid of my suits. I have one suit for a funeral if I need it, or a wedding.
You're like me,
Or,
yeah. I have one good clothes for good going out, and the rest, whatever. Two
yeah.
changes basically. What was your biggest? I mean, you have the health challenge still going on, so I'm going to send you the MMS if I haven't already. But that's a good protocol to be on. It's chlorine dioxide. It's good for cancer and malaria and everything. It's good to oxygenate your body with this. So I'll send you that if
Okay.
I haven't already. But what's your biggest challenge, or what do you see as your biggest challenge in the PCT?
On the PCT is how fast I'm going to have to do it to get to the Sierras on
Yeah,
time.
yeah.
Is pacing myself without getting hurt in the beginning. Not being too being wary of the miles, but not getting caught up. It's going to be a tightrope because there's a smaller window going south,
Right.
getting to the Sierras, and I haven't really figured that out yet. I just got done I'm going to get my mailing, my Dropbox list all sent out for at least the first, I think, my first 60 days or so. And then I might be doing mail order and stuff. I think the hardest thing is just going to be getting it done in time, like not getting caught up in any weather problems.
We had a good year. 2014 was a drought year, low snow year, so we got through. We were fortunate. So it does depend on the weather. Even the best hikers can get trapped or challenged. How many miles did you average on the AT
I
a
was
day?
doing uppers up until my knee finally gave out. I was hitting 20s. I was averaging about 18. The last month, I probably only averaged about 10 to 12 miles a day because the knee was so bad.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Do you have any stories, good hiker stories? What's your favorite
Oh,
hiker
God.
story?
One of my favorites is I got two favorites really. We came up to the Great Falls in Connecticut, and we had a big day of hiking. I think there were 6 of us that day. Blue Jeans, Nova, Food Sack, Rocksteady, and we came up to these Great Falls, and they had a cliff jump, or a cliff that you could jump off of. But you don't know how safe it is. We saw some kid jump off of it, and it's about 65 feet. I got a really good video of it, me doing it. And that day we just hung out by the falls, swam in the reservoir waters, and then jumped off a 66-foot fall with 2 of the other guys, which is it was just really exciting. And one of the others was, we were coming into Manchester Center, and a guy that I went to college with was like, I'll set you up for the weekend, whatever. And he was away in Maine. Turns out he had a house that was like looked up onto the trail, and he took care of me and all my friends for a whole weekend. And we took 2 days off, and he had a hot tub, and we went out to the restaurants just reopened in Vermont because it was because of Corona. And it was such a family event. It was just incredible. And we had this one trail angel that happened to be a buddy of mine from college that I hadn't seen in 25 years. And that was the last day we were all together, because we kind of separated with, after that. Three of us stayed together until my knee went bad. But that was like our last hurrah as a family. And it was just because of people that really, and he had met people on the trail before, so he knew the trail. He had been an angel before, just never to someone he knew. And there's a picture of us all and on his porch. I think I sent you. I'm not sure if you got the other email.
I
But
got the first one, not yet.
the one with
second one.
pictures.
Yeah.
Yeah, there's one of us all. It almost looks like for me, it looked like, it reminded me of an album cover from the 70s. We're all on the porch hanging out. Yeah, those were the best times. Were definitely coming into camp and seeing everyone, because no one hiked the same speed. There were a few days I would hike fast and keep up with the kids, or they would hike slow, or we would get together, meet up at some type of site or have lunch together. But for the most part, it was just coming into camp and knowing you were with family again. That was, I mean, telling the stories or just doing stupid stuff. It was awesome.
Yeah, I see that as a template for how society could be, the camaraderie and the support we give each other, the hikers give each other. It's just tremendous. Now, one of my favorite trail angels was Coppertone. I don't think you're going to see him this year. I think he's been off for a few years, but he gave root beer floats. He had an RV. He drove different stops along. He followed the herd, and he would do. The first time I saw him, he was running naked up a mountain. He had tennis shoes on, but that's it. So that's why they call him Coppertone, because he was tan all over. And he would follow the herd, and he'd stop at different, like Whitney, he did Whitney, but other mountains, and he'd trail run up the mountains. That was his thing while he wasn't trail angeling. And he'd cover all the mountains nearby the trail during his angeling there. And he'd give root beer floats, ice cream and root beer to the hikers. And it was really cool.
Wow.
I saw it about 4 times I met with him. So you're going to miss him. Sorry about that. But there's others, many on the trail this year, PCT. Now that's another thing. Yeah, near your end part, you're going to be maybe missing that. They're going to be retiring for the season, maybe.
Yeah.
But go ahead. You're saying something.
Yeah, the trailing we had yearbook or Odie on our side. The guy that does the yearbook for both. He was doing it for the PCT and the AT. I got to meet him when I was sick or when I was hurt with my knee. I stayed at that was another thing. I stayed at one of the hostels for a week. I actually ended up cutting their grass, did all kinds of stuff for them because I was waiting for a ride home to get my knee looked at. But I got to meet the yearbook guy, and I was just he was like a little trail celebrity to me, someone you always hear about. But yeah, we definitely I'm not used to so much trail magic because I was in the year of COVID.
Yeah. We had some milestones. 2014, the first equestrian. She was a woman. Midnight was the horse's name. She passed us, but she was the first woman equestrian who used the same horse throughout the entire trail. And she missed 500 miles. She couldn't do it. It was too difficult. I don't know where with Sierras or whatever, but she missed 500 miles, but she did the rest of it with one horse. It had been done with multiple horses, but this was the first one horse had been done. And then we had this fellow that ran it. What was his name? You might have heard of him. He's a skinny guy. He's a cross-country guy, but he set the assisted record for running it, forget how many days. And then we had this guy who had done it, this is Scott Williamson. He was basically living on the trail. He had done it like 8 times. He did it northbound, southbound in one season 2 times. Like he'd go northbound, then he'd go back southbound. 2 times he did that. He basically lived on the trail. He was addicted to it. He was
There is
addicted.
some, there is, oh God, there's something to be said is being out there. I don't remember. Well, I do remember the bad days, but the
Yeah,
good days outshine them.
I know. I know. I
And
told you. Yeah, go ahead.
even the bad days, though, a friend of mine said this. The year before I gone on a hike, and we did the last few miles of Pennsylvania, Rockvania, and he was like, the hard times though, you remember them more. Like, even though I remember the good times, I remember those hard times when I was with them and we were struggling. I got stuck up on, actually on Eisenhower coming down to Washington overnight above the tree line. I got video of that where I ducked into a crevice and I was stuck in that with high winds, 40 degrees and pouring rain. And I was above tree line. And that was probably the worst I had, the worst bit, where I was in a crevice for a good 14 hours.
Wow. Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah. It makes the good times even better when you get out of it with your life. Yeah, if you survive it.
Yeah.
That's why it's kind of like the military, being a war, but at least you don't have people chasing you, trying to kill you, but you are out there trying to survive, you know.
Yeah. There was just the guy who was trying to do the southbound, the Sobo PCT that got off trail, went into a canyon and ended up losing his shoe in a fire. And he came out, it's posted all over the southbound sites, PCTs on Facebook. And he ended up he used 3 socks and his crampon to bushwhack out of there. And it took him 2.5 days or 3 days to bushwhack out. And he had no shoe. Like, you forget
Wow.
how close it can be. That's why I really postponed my
Yeah.
this year, because I'm not, physically I'm 52 and I lost a lot of, like, part of my treatment before was being more or less castrated. They cut off your testosterone for prostate cancer. So I had no testosterone for the last 3 years. I just stopped the treatment recently because the treatment was more detrimental than the actual.
Right. Right. Yeah, you don't
But
want to do that. You don't want to
just
continue
starting it.
that. Yeah.
Yeah. I also, one of the best things is my best friend from high school passed away in 13. His wife actually sent me his ashes on the trail, and he got to hike with me. She sent me a text going, "Hey, would it be weird if I sent Joe down to you?" And I'm like, "How are you going to do that?" She's like, "I got these little ashes." And he actually got his own trail name because it looked like a grenade. The little urn he was in. So I got to carry Joe with me, and I'm gonna go pick him up in the next week or two, and he's gonna do the PCT with me as well, which is kind
Wow.
of neat that I get to bring my best friend with me, even though he's not with us anymore.
Wow. Yeah. I brought my mother's ashes to Latvia, where country of my origin, Latvia, in Europe.
Okay.
Yeah, I took her ashes back there and spread them in the Baltic Sea.
Wow. My mom's from Finland.
Okay, right across the
Yeah,
bay
yeah.
there.
Yeah, my
Remember,
mom was born and raised in Finland, and met my dad in Germany during his service in the 60s.
cool. So your
Yeah.
dad's German.
No,
Oh,
my dad was in the
in
American
service.
service.
Oh, I see.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay.
No, my dad was a South Philly boy.
Okay. All right. Yeah, let's kind of like to keep it to 20, 30 minutes. So let me ask
Okay.
you one more question. What are some of the things you're going to do differently on this hike that you found, that you're going to be better off with than the AT?
I'm going lighter. I'm
Lighter.
gonna try to, yeah, I'm going lighter. I'm gonna try to lose my I'm not sure yet. I've gotten lighter stuff. I started with the regular Offspree that everyone does, the green 65, liter. It's pretty much the beginner's pack with all the straps and whistles and stuff. So I got a lighter pack. I went with it. I got a lighter stove, or actually a pot, and I'm just trying to decrease weight. Because I think that's the one thing that's going to bring me more energy is not having to carry around. And I knew this as a kid I ran D1 sports, cross country mile and stuff. And every pound was 3 to 5 to 10 pounds more per step on your body, depending on how you walked, depending on what kind of gait you were and how you came down that foot. It could be as much as 10 times for every pound. So if you take out every one of those pounds, it makes that much of a difference over obviously 2650.
Yeah,
that's my biggest thing. It's trying to find the things I can get rid of and afford the cheaper stuff.
Yeah.
Or afford the lighter stuff.
Yeah. Well, did you see homemade Wanderlust Dixie? She went through Walmart. She basically geared up inexpensively through Walmart. Wasn't the best, but she did it inexpensively. But
that's pretty much all of my dry bags were Walmart.
Okay.
When I started.
Yeah.
I did the same thing. Yeah, why not? You don't know any better, and think they seem pretty much the same weight. One's 10 ounces and one's 2 ounces, but when you're feeling in your hand, they're like, that's not that big a difference. But when everything weighs 3 times as much,
yeah,
it makes a difference. And it took me a while to set that in. So get through my thick head.
Okay, so July 14th.
Yeah, I should be out there July 14th. Either I get into I forget the name of whatever I'm taking the train across country from Harrisburg to taking Amtrak and getting off on the 14th at like 6 a.m. If I can start that day, great. If I have to stay overnight and then get a ride in after that, I'll be on the 15th. So something like that. I'll be leaving.
Okay, I'll follow you. I hope you best of luck and you make it all the way. I know you will. That's so cool. And I'll send you the link. We're going to edit this and send you the link. And you mind if I post it through the Facebook group?
No, please do. And send it to me and I'll post because I don't know where it is or anything. I just saw your thing and said, might as well,
Yeah.
People might want to hear my story.
Oh, yeah, very much. I don't think we get enough of people's, really story. You hear about trail conditions and gear and stuff, but the personal part, I like to hear about what's going on in that respect too. So I really appreciate the interview. Thank you, Mango. And again, the best
Thank you,
of
Landslide.
luck. Okay, best
Thank you.
of luck. Okay.
Any advice on the way out?
Keep going, I mean, pace yourself, but just keep going and set that intent. I mean, just to finish up, I started with my son. He made it to Northern California. He started kind of wandering. His attention started wandering, and he liked to go, spend some time in side trails and spend some time here, which I can understand. He likes nature. But if you don't have that intent to finish, it's not going to happen. And he kind of got lost and he didn't make it all the way. He went back to school and stuff like that. So I picked up another hiking partner. His pace was a little faster than mine, so I kind of had to keep up. He was the point man, and that kept me going from Tahoe to the end to Canada, and that made it. But the intent, just hold that intent. It doesn't have to be. You don't have to put a lot of emotion into it, but just hold that, see it in your awareness that you've done it. You've done it already. Now you just got to, it's already finished. You've done it. You did it. Yay. You did it. Congratulations. Now just go out and do it. Okay. So it'll happen.
Awesome.
Intent. All right. Ciao.
Hey, thank you very much.
Okay. Thank you. Thank you.
Like coming out to a nice view off of the priest of the mountain in the name of the shelter.
Wow. Hope you enjoyed.
You